Welcome to the North Carolina A&T Women's Basketball Coaches Show with head coach Terrell Robinson. Here's your host, Brian Holloway.
Welcome back to the North Carolina A&T Women's Basketball Coaches Show, featuring our head coach Terrell Robinson. Had another good week. I don't know how coach would describe that, but certainly won one, lost one. Lost one on the road to Longwood, and then came back home to Club Corbett and took care of the Hampton Pirates. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing okay. Coming off a win. Just had a pretty, focused practice maybe 30 minutes ago. So, feeling good, getting ready to head down to Charleston today.
Yeah, he's do play Charleston Southern on Wednesday night in Charleston, and then they come back here for Senior Day on February 26th, where they play South Carolina Upstate. But let's talk about the week a little bit. This past week, you guys went to Farmville, Virginia, and took on Longwood, kind of a rematch from early in the season. What are your thoughts on that ball game? You guys were in there in the first half, but they had a pretty good second half shooting the basketball.
Yeah, they did, and we had some tremendous errors. The game, as we talked about before, came down to the mismatches in the post and who could influence the game the most, and Longwood did. Akila Smith played excellent, really hurt us in transition. I thought the game was nip and tuck for the first half, and then in the second half, we just had some bonehead mistakes as far as not getting back in transition. Some quick shots, some turnovers that a team like Longwood feeds off of and really took advantage of. And, we're still a work in progress, man. The things that are hindering us are the same things we talked about before. I truly believe, between Longwood, Campbell, and High Point, our last three losses, three teams that have, young women that have played multiple years together, multiple opportunities in the system, and understanding that, we're still trying to figure this thing out. We're still, at a situation where, everybody thinks, their moment is to save the game, and we struggle when we're fighting that type of adversity. We end up fighting each other as well. So we're still trying to work through that. There's still time. I'm still confident that this group, regardless of our finish, could win the Big South tournament, but it's just a matter of, buy-in or buying out, one or the other.
Yeah, certainly when you look at the Big South and you look at the games that we played throughout the 2022, you don't see a huge difference in the talent level. I mean, we split with Campbell. We got a rematch against USC Upstate, and then played Longwood pretty good. Gardner Webb is excellent. How good will that tournament be in March? Because you really have 6, 7, maybe 8 teams that could, really do some damage in that tournament.
Yeah, it would be madness. March Madness, everybody 1 through 6, 1 through 7. You can't count out the Hampton Lady Pirates because they've dealt with a lot as far as COVID or a team coached by David Six, so we'll see. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun for our fans right up the road in Charlotte. I hope Aggie Nation is there to help us because we definitely plan on trying to repeat as far as going to the NCAA tournament.
You talk about, just kind of building that cohesiveness within a team, young ladies being together, 2 or 3 years maybe. Is that a little more? You have quite a few transfers. How do you go about strategizing, making sure that they are in rhythm with one another, or is that how difficult of a task is that?
With any relationship, man, any brand new relationship, and then you add young people, and then you add a group of young people together. One word we always talk about with them is getting outside their comfort zone, and sometimes outside your comfort zone means accepting your role, and that has been a struggle because we are pretty good. And as we talk about the Hampton game, I'll get into the details of pretty good, but yeah, it is. The things that we do, obviously film. We try to tell them the truth through visual, even though they don't want to believe it. I'm always a transparent person in practice and in games. And, I'm very direct because we don't have a lot of time to waste. We need to fix what we need to fix now. COVID was already, held us back in terms of getting all our people back and rebuilding that chemistry with a new group. So we're just a work in progress, man. We're taking one game at a time. Every moment, I am not biting my tongue with what needs to be said. And, at this point of the year, I think our young women know that I love, care about them. Nothing's personal, and it's just about the results.
Coach, I've known you a number of years. I can honestly and confidently say you're a transparent person, period. That's what makes you that's what makes you Terrell Robinson. So, no question about that. Sean Kelly-Darks, you talk about, accepting your role. Had another good game coming off the bench for you against Longwood. Talk about, did you have to have a conversation with her about, a new role? Because she was a starter last year. Did you have to have a conversation, or has he just kind of taken on that role of coming off the bench and providing a punch for you?
You know what? The crazy thing about it, that conversation was actually after, that conversation was yesterday. And as you know, she started against Hampton. And but no, SK, she's a winner. She has started all her life. She's been the front runner of every team. And this was a major adjustment. And, the reality to the group is, you got to control what you can control. Sean Kelly was out for some time with a concussion. She was out for some time with COVID protocols. So, there's a chance that you're not going to be have what you once had when you come back, especially if we got the type of talent that we had. Like if I have to count on people that were out, as soon as they come back, then, we don't have the type of talent that we're talking about. But she's a winner. She never makes excuses. She, was really great in her role coming off the bench and giving us, energy from a defensive standpoint, helping us speed the game up. She's one of our best and most explosive people in transition. And her IQ is off the charts. She has a great feel for the game.
Then we brought in the Hampton Pirates on Saturday and got off to a slow start. We're down 31-20 at the half, and then your team just came out and just exploded. It was absolutely incredible, and in the midst of that, really shut the Pirates down a little bit. What gave you that energy coming out of the locker room?
I thought that it just took. I thought our young women were ready to play, and I've said all year and on here, Jasmine Harris is a huge asset, to our program, and just as much as she impacts when she's around, not having her was impactful too, and just adjusting to not having her, which we did, which the point I wanted to make with Kiana Adderton, the type of game that she played, in reference to our team. She's now the fifth person on this team to have a 20-plus scoring, game, and I think that just says it could be anybody's night. It just depends on if they're getting the ball and if they're getting the touches. And that's one of the things that I've tried to talk to this group about. Like, we're so talented, we're so gifted in positions. Like, we just got to make the right basketball play. We can't take onus and try to win the game by ourselves, because that could be the wrong decision, because somebody's open, because everybody can't guard all our kids. And Kiana, in Jasmine Harris's absence, took advantage. She was unbelievable. She was unbelievable outside, inside. And then, we really did a great job defensively, containing Hampton as far as trying to get into the paint. In the second half, first half, we were horrible. But yeah, we just honed in defensively and had a tremendous offensive boost from, one of our starters.
You talked about after the game that she responded to coaching. What are some of the things that you've been kind to coach her on and trying to get her prepared for competition?
Man, she was here, she would laugh, man, because I stay in her butt. She came to us from Francis Marion, and she was the star there. And she, more than anyone, has had to, accept a different role. One, she's not a primary ball handler, so there's so many other people that get touches before her. But just, our defensive philosophy, basketball wise, just different reads and not like the crazy thing about it. And most coaches and people understand this, like, you have kids that if that ball ain't in their hands, they're bored. You know what I'm saying? And they get bored and they lose focus and all that stuff because they're used to having the ball in their hands. And we have a few people like that, her being one, and that's a major adjustment for her. And she had an opportunity in an absence of a starter to get a lot of touches, and she made plays. She made tremendous plays. So yeah, just that, the IQ piece of, the ball in your hand, you still can be moving. You're still making yourself available, setting great screens, talking on defense, like all those small things that she doesn't do on a consistent level. In the game in general, I just told her, like, this is an opportunity for you and you're about to let it pass. Like, you got to do more. And I told her that when she was leading us in scoring and rebounding at the half. I felt like there was more that she could do, and she proved that and did it.
No question about it. You had the gift of the tongue, because she had 12 points in the fourth quarter alone, 5 of 6 shooting. That fourth quarter was just unbelievable. I mean, she just took the game over, literally. So that was just absolutely amazing. I want to ask you, she's kind of coming from that mold where she was, the go-to. You got a Sharika McNeil was in that same position as Jasmine Harris. And then Channing last year for us was almost leading us in everything. How did you make that gel? How did you make that gel? How did you make that work coming into this season?
I'm still trying to make it work. I'm not going to lie. They're tremendously talented young women. They're gifted. I said this earlier, like with any and everybody, even myself, even you got to feed the ego somewhat for people to enjoy it. But getting them to really understand that, to do something special, we got to do that together. In the Longwood game with Sharika and Jasmine, I thought they, taking some questionable shots. And at halftime, I didn't say not shoot. I said, I want you to shoot the ball, but I'm also trusting you to know when not to shoot it. Obviously, we need you to score, but sorry. Like, it can't be every shot. Like, if 2 people are on you, if somebody closes out, somebody else is open, So, and I say again, we need you to score, but I'm trusting that you're going to make the right decision, because I don't want to say not shoot it. I don't want to tell a scorer to not be a scorer. But you got other teammates, and if winning is important to you, you'll make the right choices and decisions.
You have an interesting team because it just seems like once they get hot, they're hot, but, it's just getting them there to that point to where they can kind of get that rhythm going. Mm-hmm. And then, we saw Campbell and High Point where it just never really the engine never got really revved up. But it's just an interesting team because once you get them there, they're there. Talk about that a little bit in terms of just trying to get them that consistency for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Like with any team, there's a foundation of who you are and what you do. And the fundamentals of basketball, like basketball is fun when it's played fast, but the only way it can be played fast is if one or two things: you're getting steals or you're stopping somebody from scoring. Because a lot of times, especially with us, when the ball goes through the nets, like teams are getting back, setting up and whatever they need to set up. And it goes back to what I said, when adversity hits us, when teams are really being really good with their scouts, and the teams that you mentioned did, and they're taking things away, we have a lot of individuals that want to do it on their own because that's what they're used to doing. And, a lot of times it takes more than a year. It takes more than a season. And as I said, I'm trying to really send that message, because, we know about Sharika's 59 points. That ain't no secret. So a kid like her, she's going to feel like she's on the level of every shot that I taken. And we talked about in the last show, we think she's going to make every one. But, people are scouting. People are taking things away. They're picking up tendencies. I'm challenging her to be better in that, to be better on defense, to stay out of foul trouble. Same thing with Jasmine Harris. Yeah, maybe 5 out of 10 times, Jazz, you are going to be able to score over 3 people. But you got 2 other teammates open, and how I know with young people, if they're not getting touches, if they're not scoring, they ain't playing defense. And damn it, they got to play defense for me. So, so that's the whole adjustment. Like, if people aren't getting touches, they're not getting shots, the energy's low on the other end. And this is stuff that we talk about. And we talk about, if you really want to win and you're really about the end goal, then you'll make these adjustments, because obviously we're counting on you all to help us win games.
We are here with North Carolina A&T head women's basketball coach Terrell Robinson, who is closing in on the all-time wins record here at North Carolina A&T. He can sniff it. Does it matter to you when you break? Well, like, wins are a little different. Like points, it's kind of like you can maybe hold back a little bit and do it at home. But you just want to win. I mean, it doesn't matter if you do it at home or on the road. You just want to win. But would it mean a little something if you did it here at Corbett, become the all-time winningest coach in the program history?
No. No, it doesn't. If and when it happens, man. I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm not excited about that. And like 10 years ago, that was far from thought. I was just trying to live up to Pat Bibbs, and Tim Abney and all the other coaches that had this, that had the responsibility of running this program. And, now the situation is I'm a few games and, maybe this year, maybe next year to happen, but I'm not, I just put my head down, work. I try not to get caught up in things like that, in accolades. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful that I have people like you and our athletics director and our chancellor that appreciate, my passion for this university and for this women's basketball program. So, but no, if it happens in Corbett, great. But if it happens someplace else, I just want to get the win regardless.
Outstanding. And you've given away a couple of 1,000-point balls. Channing Scott, Kiana Adderton, certainly Sharika McNeil came here, I believe, with 1,000 points 15. Already.
1,500.
And certainly, I think Jasmine, she's got a little way to go. I think she's about 70, 75 points away from that. What type of accomplishment is that for a young lady to have 1,000 points in a collegiate career?
That's a huge accomplishment, man. That's a goal accomplishment that I did not reach. And I can honestly tell you, I can remember my senior year, 10 games left, thinking that I needed like 108 points. And I'm doing the math in my head, so I know it's special for them. And it goes back to, again, the type of talent we have, the night Kiana Adderton had and that Sharika's had, Channing's had, Jazz has had, DeMai Tucker, I think she had a 20-plus point game. Like, that is the type of team that we have, and that's how special this group is. And I want the results to look special. I want us to really commit to finishing this regular season the way we need to, getting hot in the tournament and winning the tournament. So what's on paper can actually become reality. But yeah, no, it is special, and you can see it in practice. You see their talent, you see their skill set, but you also see the areas that they're vulnerable in, and that you want them to be better at.
Big news out of North Carolina A&T this week. We opened the Martin Research Center. No kidding. We're going to the Colonial Athletic Association conference, and certainly another move for North Carolina A&T. It'll be our third conference in 3 years, and so certainly an adjustment. But for you as a coach, I mean, having a scouted team is having a scouted team. But and I know you probably haven't had a chance to digest this. You're in the middle of a Big South battle now. But what was your initial thoughts as you saw the news coming out about the CAA?
You're absolutely right. I have not had a chance to digest it because I'm like, man, I want to win the Big South. I want to win the Big South and then go win the CAA. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking like that. I mean, it's exciting from the aspect of where our university and where our athletics program is going and the type of athletes we're going to draw and the attention, we're going to draw. I'm excited about that, about the opportunities. But that's about it. As far as planning, ahead, we've got so much work to do right now. I've had a few text messages from coaches in that league, friends in that league that I'm familiar with that have congratulated us and all that stuff. And, want to set me up with, oh man, we got to deal with y'all. I'm like, man, get out of here. I'm in sixth place in the Big South. Don't give me, what I'm saying? Don't give me that. But it's, it's a challenge. It's a familiar challenge. We were in the CAA when I was at Virginia Commonwealth. So I'm very familiar with the programs there, how the conference works. And it's just exciting. It's exciting for everybody.
That is correct. Served, I believe, 3 years at Virginia Commonwealth University before coming back to North Carolina A&T to serve as the head coach. While we're on the subject, what are your thoughts of the Big South going through the conference for the first time, 2 regular season games remaining. But what are just your thoughts about Big South play and what you guys have had to endure?
The way I sum it up, I've spoken to a few people about it. I think the Big South is a blue collar league. I think they are a league that in terms of basketball, coaches and players that focus on little things and give maximum effort in it. The things that you're not going to get a lot of credit for, but creates a lot of wins. Teams are going to know your scout. They're going to know your plays. They're going to follow the scout. They're going to know your tendencies better than your team. They're going to take charges. They're going to box out. They're going to put you in every situation, every possession to try to expose you. And that's like with Jasmine Harris early in the year. One of the things I tell them, like, Jazz, you already know that everybody we play is going to put us in on-ball situations. They're going to say, make her guard us in on-balls. That's something you got to work on. Like if you want to help us win, then that's something that you got to be passionate about. And that's the type of league it is. They have great attention to detail, pay a lot of respect to the little things, and it's just some tremendous coaches. Great respect, had great respect before, but they're just proving that the respect is well deserved.
North Carolina A&T, 2 remaining regular season games. They go to Charleston Southern tomorrow night, and then they come home. A 1:00 game on Saturday against USC Upstate. It'll be senior day for the Aggies, and it'll be one of those old-fashioned double headers that we used to have in the MEAC. The women will play at 1, the men will play at 5 p.m. Let's talk a little Charleston Southern. You guys had your way with them in Corbett, but like you always mention, that game becomes a lot harder when you have to play inside their gym. What are your thoughts on the Bucks?
Well, they've beaten the current number 1 team in our league, USC Upstate. That there says enough. They after we beat them here, they went to Upstate and beat Upstate. They hosted Upstate and beat them, which goes back to what you were just saying, how good anybody can be in their gym. I was just telling our young women that, just making sure that our focus is razor sharp, that, we played very well in our gym against them and beat them pretty good, but that don't mean anything. Like my experiences, man, we beat North Carolina Central back in 16-17. We beat them by 40 in their gym, and they came and beat us by 8, in Corbett. So it can flip that much if you're not locked in. You're taking, people for granted, and they got a great coach in Coach Garcia, who's coached everywhere from the ACC to the SEC. So I don't take any of that for granted as far as our preparation.
If you had a chance, well, of course you guys saw Upstate early in the season. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on them from that? What are your thoughts on that game? I know you feel like that one got away from you a little bit, or you let one get away. But what are your thoughts as they come into Corbett Sports Center?
They're right now in position to win a championship. I think they have a fantastic young coach. And Becky Burke, I'm just really impressed in how she has got those young women to buy in to her culture and who she is and the type of player that she was. She's instilling that, through her kids. They work hard. Again, I talked about having great attention to detail. They're going to defend. They like their defense to create their offense, and then they just play selfless basketball in the half court. They've got some really good freshmen, probably the freshman of the year in Rose, and then a very special player, transfer from Cincinnati who played very well against us. So they're a very balanced team. They have another young lady in the post that complements them very well. They're from top to bottom, they're pretty good. They got a kid right up the street, Jada Logan, that we recruited, that is playing that 4th guard for them, that makes them very hard to guard because, she can handle the ball in her position. It's going to be a tough game. They are in the position that they're in. They're the first team to hit the 20-win mark. You can see already, I know my stuff. I've scouted them and watching film, but I'm very impressed with just what Coach Burke has those young women. They won 8 games last year, and now they're a 20-win season team. So the buy-in is obvious. The first time we played them, I told our young women that you could tell by film that they are locked in on who they are and their identity. and with wins, especially when you beat A&T, the buy-in becomes even more. So we're excited to get them in our gym, excited to send off our seniors the right way.
Before I let you get out of here, I want you to talk about Jasmine Walden a little bit. She's kind of been in this program with you and had a lot of success, been in and out of lineup this year. But talk about her and just what she's meant to you.
The OG, slick with it. Slick has, she is the example of what Lady Aggie basketball is. She represents us on the court and off. She's a natural leader. And, and the thing about her, she doesn't have to say much to get her message across. She's very low key, doesn't really get too excited, don't even get too mad. She's very even keel. And, our relationship, she's looks at me as a father figure. And I appreciate that level of trust. Appreciate her, for trusting me, even when she, decommitted to Temple and made the decision to come and be a part of our program. She's a winner, probably one of the winningest that I've had the pleasure of coaching in my 10 years. And she will be missed because she's a coach on the floor. She knows how to navigate Lady Aggie basketball with any newcomers. Like, hey, don't do this if you want to stay in good with Coach Rob. Hey, make sure that because Coach Earp is going to be on you on that. Hey, make sure Coach, what I'm saying? It's like she makes sure that people understand the infrastructures as far as our staff and as far as, our culture here. And she'll be missed. I love Slick.
Outstanding. Thank you, Coach, again for your time. Really, really do appreciate it. And good luck to you guys up in Charleston and or down in Charleston. And then we'll look forward to seeing you back here in Corbett Sports Center on Saturday. And we thank you for joining us as well. Signing off on another A&T Women's Basketball Coaches Show. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.